Mic. Camera. Action.
I guess what I'm saying is, it is time for Trip to spread his wings.
Wow. Well, this is very unexpected.
So here's the plan. All right, we're gonna blow out the east wall of my bedroom, enlarge the bathroom, basically turn the entire upstairs into a secondary master suite. So there's room for the both of us and the both of you under the same roof. What do you say?
I'm not understanding. You want Paula to move in here?
Yes! It's the perfect solution. Mom, Dad, you like her. Paula, you like them. We're all gonna be right here together under one roof, a big happy family. I'm telling you, I'm getting really excited about this.
Whoa, wait just a second. Take a deep breath here and
Trip, I just think that we should probably talk about this just because it's a big idea. And...
Honey, I've given this a lot of thought. All right, it'll work. And the best part about it is, Mom, Dad, you won't have to keep paying Paula to be my girlfriend. Huh?
All right. Welcome back to the Filmography, the show dedicated to watching every credited film from an actor's complete back catalogue from past debut through to present day in chronological order. Each episode, I'm joined by an esteemed guest to watch and discuss the next entry from the focused filmography and consider how it ranks amidst their career and whether we can trace any typecasting trends or topic traits or theatrical tics. Today's guest is Femme On figurehead, Ria Carrogan. Today's film is Tom Day's Failure to Launch from 2006. We watch, you listen, and hopefully watch along too if you really want to do that to yourself in this case.
The thing is I really hate myself because I volunteered for this.
You did, yeah.
I don't know why, because I hate this film. And then fairly recently, myself and my other half watched it like within the last 6 months, and I completely forgot. We hate watched it, and then I completely forgot that I was doing this. And then you mentioned it at the last recording where we talked about How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, which is very much a guilty pleasure. And I've now had to watch it again, and it's so bad. I
mean, yeah, when I wrote my letterboxd review, I didn't have much energy to write a lot after watching it, as you can imagine. And I just wrote, like, imagine having the audacity to put the word failure in your title with this movie. Like, you're just inviting that. You are really, really inviting that on. It is. I don't know what it is. The best way I thought of describing it is a frat boy rom-com, if that is a thing, if that exists. But that's what it feels like to me. I don't know about you.
I have a different way to describe it.
Yeah.
It is a horror film.
Okay, yeah.
Especially if you were to reverse the genders.
Okay.
This would be a horror film. Like 100% would be a horror film. If you reverse the genders and stopped, because it's mostly shot in the day, and stopped it being so sunny, this would absolutely be a horror film. It'd be about a man basically stalking a woman who's been through an incredible trauma, like incredibly bad trauma, and gaslighting her. She thinks she's going crazy, and then gets kidnapped at the end. And the only way she can escape is by having to pretend to her kidnapper, well, not her kidnapper, the person who abused her, that she likes him. And we'd all be watching it going, gosh, this is like really horrific. What a horrific thing this woman's gone through. He's so evil, you know. But it really reflects some of the things women have to go through every day living in a patriarchal society. You'd be like, what a lovely commentary on lovely is the wrong word, but what a terrifying commentary on the lives of women. Instead, we get it pitched as a sunny rom-com with some animal assassination in the background.
Yeah, we've got to talk about the animal stuff in this.
Like, what? And this poor man has been through something so horrific, and all everybody goes is just grow up a little bit.
Yeah, you're right. I hadn't thought in that way, but it absolutely would be. Yeah. Just it'd be like watching like a sunny version of Art the Clown and Terrifier or something like that, wouldn't it? It absolutely is. And like gaslight wasn't quite used in that way when this came out. I suppose it's become a more prevalent term, hasn't it? But it's also catfishing as well, which is another term which has come.
Yes, it is.
Like, he has totally been catfished by his parents. And this woman into like putting him in this situation. Yeah, her job is very weird, and they both get this kind of like very glossed over, like traumatic backstory. To be honest, by that point in the movie when they were both being introduced, I sort of thought, I don't care. I just want this over with. Because I think they don't care really in the writing of it. They just want it there to kind of try and explain away how we've got into this crazy, zany situation.
Her job, she just made up her own job as well. She basically had to break up with somebody because he wouldn't move out from his parents. And I'm like, there's a whole thing there that we need to explore. That's an interesting thing that's going on. So she literally made up a job, as far as we know, without any experience. She's not a psychologist. She's not studied psychiatry. She's not like studied any human sciences or anything. And she just went, you know what? I'm going to start a job where I make quote unquote losers. Yeah. Don't even get me started on that. Yeah. Move out of their parents' houses by lying to them and gaslighting them and being paid for, and their parents paying for it. She literally just makes this up and comes up with like this. I hate this film so much. Like her little like a formula, which is, I think it's like I go on a couple of dates with them, I get them to like me, and then I guess she breaks up with them. So they move out. So she gets them to teach her something, hate it, and then they move out. I don't understand that connection to moving out. But then I guess she just dumps each of these guys. So she's created this relationship with them, this connection with them, so that they feel comfortable enough, confident enough that they can do something with their lives, I guess. And then she's like, actually, see you later. You moved out with your parents and become successful. I don't care about you anymore. But I mean...
Or I guess she forces them. She does something to force them into... I don't hear what you mean. Like, yeah, it's totally... Yeah, I was just looking at what you were talking because I couldn't remember what her title is, but she calls herself an interventionist.
That's like influencers made up, interventionists made up.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. It's. I mean, you were on How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, as you referenced, and that's a great. I think that's worked out really, really well because I think there's a real comparison point here. I think somebody's seen How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days and thought, oh, let's come up with our own zany situation, and this is what they've come up with. But the rules just aren't established in this movie at all well in order for you to buy it and go along with it. There's lots of other things that are wrong with it as well. But I mean, from the ground up, that's a problem. Like she isn't doing this. I don't know. Like we discussed How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. Like they're both equally bad and they're both equally good. And do you know what I mean? Like the stakes were fair and level in that movie. They were both doing something wrong. Whereas here, somebody else has decided on Trip's behalf, McConaughey's character's Trip's behalf, that his life needs to change. Not him. And don't get me wrong, he's a douche.
Completely. They're both horrible again.
The clothes he wears in this and his styling in this is gross. So yeah, it's just it feels like it wants to be funny. It's definitely not. And it feels like perhaps it thinks it's saying something. It's definitely not. I think it's just and when I looked up the writers, it's really interesting what they've done before and what they've gone on to do. So Tom Assel and Matt Ember are the writers. I've not heard those names before. So they worked in TV a lot before. This was their first film script. And they mostly worked in kids' TV, which I think is quite enlightening when you look at that and think about it in terms of the level of comedy and the animal stuff that's going on in this movie.
Yeah. We'll get to that yet. Yeah.
And then they went on to do the Get Smart movie, which I've never seen actually, and a couple of kids movies. So this was obviously their attempt to kind of break out of a pigeonhole they were in, and did it backfire?
I mean, and also from their names, I presume they are generic white guys. Right?
Yeah, very much. Yeah. One with glasses looking a bit nerdy and a bald head. One like
yeah. And I'm like, I refuse to believe they've never met a woman. Because the women in this are like...
I mean, I agree with you, but nobody in this is a person.
No.
Nobody exists in this movie. Like, nobody works. I don't know how any of them have got any money. None of them have any...
Because they all live with their parents. Wait, well, hold on. Was it filmed before the economic crash? That's an important question. That's how none of them work.
Yeah, maybe. But
hold on. 2006, there you go.
Yeah. It's just... No, I agree with you. Like, they're even sort of playing with that kind of manic pixie dream girl, which unfortunately for Zoe comes with almost everything she does. It probably shouldn't. It's really a real shame that that's kind of just the aura she presents, but it is. And she's sort of playing that role here, isn't it? It's a kind of an early Zoe role. And lots of people seem to pick her out as being the kind of the one redeeming thing within this movie. I'm not sure that's even the case.
No,
I mean, I love her and I'd watch her in anything, but I don't think she can be redeemed either. But you're right. They're total facsimiles. They're just caricatures of people, aren't they?
Like, and there's absolutely no chemistry between Trip and Paula. So there's no chemistry between them.
Which is very rare for McConaughey to have no chemistry.
Right? Paula and Kit, I cannot believe that they're friends and housemates, flatmates. They don't
I looked
each other at all.
There's 15 years between them two. There is no way in hell they're living together and they've got anything in common and hanging out and she should have been her younger sister or something. Like that would have made much more sense.
It's so weird, and they've got no chemistry. So when they have that little fight at the end, it's like I'm just not invested in this at all. I don't even understand what they're fighting about. The things that they're saying to each other aren't meaningful because they're so paper thin as characters. So it's like they're having this argument, and I'm like, this means nothing because I don't know if any of this is actually true.
No, and it's that. I mean, I assume this probably does pass the Bechdel test just because they must talk about something as flatmates. But I mean, also they are very much female characters written by, as you said, men who you're not sure if they've ever met women before. Because the thing they fight about is like, oh, well, you can't keep a man, and oh, you can't get over your last man, and you're just like, oh, okay, the whole world centers around the men, do they?
Men. I mean,
well, I mean, to be fair,
I had been. Yeah, true. That's what this film is about.
That's their job, but I mean,
But like, if I was them and I was having an argument, my argument would be like, Kit, I'm so scared of you that you shouted "shut up," and I immediately assumed it was my swallowing that was too loud. I think you're an abusive housemate. Like that would be the conversation that I would be having, you know, or that I saw you trying to purchase a gun. Hey, what's up? You seem really upset by this mockingbird. How can I support you with my lack of certificate showing my education to be somebody to help somebody move on in their life? Like, I just, it's just so bad. And then there's supposed to be this like, bros relationship between Trip and his two fellas. I don't even know their character names.
Justin Bartha and Bradley Cooper. I mean, the cast list for this is insane. I don't know how they got these people to sign up to it because the script must be awful. But
I would say
Zoe, Justin Bartha, Bradley Cooper, Kathy Bates, like Stephen Tobolowsky in a small role, Patton Oswalt in a small role. Like, how have you got these people involved in this movie?
And I would say, for me, the highlight is Bradley Cooper. This is before he's gotten into his like leading man phase, and I'm not
this
sure.
This is sort of post-Alias phase, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not fully bought into his leading man phase, especially currently. He seems a bit greasy, funnily enough, which is what Matthew McConaughey is in this film. And so for me, I actually think he's a highlight. I actually think he's quite funny. He just sort of seems to be there and being like, I've got this role, I'm going to take it seriously, but not too seriously. And he seems like he's having some fun. I'm not convinced that anybody else is.
No, great point. And I looked up because it's just a couple of years before The Hangover, so that was the movie really where he broke through, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But he was also in Wedding Crashers maybe around this point. Maybe that's 2004. So he was sort of doing these kind of roles, wasn't he? And it feels like that's why I went with frat boy rom-com. It feels like that's what it wants to be. It wants to be kind of Wedding Crashers-y, Vince Vaughn-y. But they've not cast any of the right people for that. Like, obviously, I love McConaughey, which is why I'm doing this, but he's not right for that. And honestly, this should be like an Adam Sandler movie, really.
That's a great shout.
It has that kind
it could bring that sort of wackiness to it, sort of wackiness. And I think Adam Sandler's either really good or absolutely terrible. And I think that's the same with his films. I don't think there's any middle Adam Sandler films. I also think he just gets his mates together, films something, gets paid for it. You carry on, son. You have a grand old time, because that sounds wonderful. But yeah, this could be, if you got him involved in this, he definitely would have made it more wacky, more fun.
Yeah, you have Steve Buscemi and what's his name that he always casts and everything.
I can't remember.
Is it Rob? I don't know. The guy that's in like Judge Dredd and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That's who the kind of people need to be in this, particularly when you get all the animal stuff, which is fucking weird. You get like, we'll talk about like the three main trip stuff and his like how he's out of sync with nature, which is how they describe it. But you get like that scene in the vets, which we'll definitely go into in a bit more depth. But the two kind of animal things I want to touch on here is like when they talk about what's the word for it when they is it sterilization? I don't know. When they talk about chopping the dog's balls off, which I think isn't what they actually say in the movie, to be fair. But I wanted to try and find the more kind of medical technical.
They get like neutered, but that's
neutered. Thank
females.
You. I don't know, but
men. I can't remember. I don't know. Yeah,
they talk about that with the dog, and it's been like sedated at this point in the movie, but it turns around and goes.
The noises.
Like, what is going on? And then when the lizard bites him, it laughs. What is going on in this movie? It's so bizarre. But that's kind of Adam Sandler-y stuff. I'd buy that in Happy Gilmore. When the crocodile eats Apollo Creed's arm, and then it would go, I got his arm. So weird.
It's so weird. And with the chipmunk, he's like having a little energy bar.
Oh yeah.
It's like, what is happening?
And Bradley Cooper's going, he doesn't want it. He doesn't want it. Like, I thought we were going to get some sort of thing how he's
animals.
Yeah, I know. I thought we were getting like a Dr. Dolittle thing. I thought that was going to be his plot arc. Oh,
this film is a very noise heavy film, from the animal noises to Sarah Jessica Parker's character. Her entire character is squealing or screaming, which goes to the very core of me. It's so incredibly annoying. To like his parents listening to them having sex.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm paying for this, says his dad. So I'm gonna pay attention to what's going on up there.
He's like watching the scene, and I'm just like, and then the mockingbird stuff. Why are there so many noises in this film? Like too many noises. When they're doing paintballing and the thing goes off, and Sarah Jessica Parker, Paula, her character's name, screams. I think it's one of the most irritating things I've ever seen committed to film. It's so, I can't stand she's so girly. Just a big noise makes her scream. But is she? Because surely she's not, if she's able to like manipulate, not the girly people can't manipulate men, but like she's manipulating all of these men. She's not just some sort of like, I walk along,
and she knows about boats. She could just spout off all the stuff about boats immediately, and like, I hear you absolutely.
And she turns out to love boats magically by the end because he does, because she's got no personality.
Well, none of them have got any kind of personality or characterization, have they? So it's very odd. I agree with you. I don't want to don't rate Sarah Jessica Parker at all. I'm interested in what you think about her generally, as well as in this movie. Something about her I find really, really irritating. And sometimes you can't put your finger on it. And she's not, I'm sure she's a perfectly decent person in real life. I don't know anything about her really, to be honest, because I can't really stand her. Whenever she's in front of me on a screen, I just want to turn it off. And then when she starts trying to act, I mean, she is just so bland. There's no inflection to her delivery. It doesn't go up or down at all. So I was watching this with Em, who fell asleep, by the way. I mean, there's your review, done. Despite all the noises, she still managed to fall asleep. And I said to her, like, why do you watch Sex and the City? Why do you watch whatever this next show is called and something like that, or whatever it's called? I was like, what is it? Because I don't get it. Like, has nothing. There's no, like, attractive, alluring trait about her at all. She can't act. And then was like, yeah, it's not her really. Like, there's the other things in the show and nostalgia. And I was like, I just do not get how this woman has got to this position. There's my rant.
Yeah.
So just Parker, what do you think? Am I being unfair or?
She's not for me. The only thing I like her in is Hocus Pocus, because that film's a classic. And I also think she's very funny in Hocus Pocus. I think she's very, very funny in it. I think she has amazing hair in whatever version of her hair is in.
I mean, it's like Lego, though. They've like taken it off Jennifer Aniston and then put it on.
I mean, her hair's not great. Her hair's not great in this film, but in general, I think I don't like Sex and the City. Don't come at me. People hate it when I say that. I never enjoyed it when it first aired. I then did a rewatch something like 15 years ago or whatever. Still didn't like it. I don't get it. I appreciate it for what it did for TV and women on TV and episodic TV. I think in terms of that, fantastic. Sarah Jessica Parker is a leading lady. I just don't think she has that spark. I don't think she has that charisma. Excuse me. I applaud her for doing what she does, and you keep going, you keep making that money. But she does nothing for me, and she's not somebody who I would see build on a film and be like, I want to go and see that. She just, I think she is pretty average.
Oh, you're very generous.
And I think she needs to be in the right sort of, I'm being very kind. I think she needs to be in the right sort of vehicle for her to be successful. Like, I don't really know why she is the lead in Sex and the City, but that's fine because that's not for me. I can't see her carrying a film like this with the right sort of zaniness or manic pixie dream girlness that I think would make it be better. I don't really know anybody who could, to be honest, because I think the writing's so terrible.
No,
but yeah, I just don't think there's. I don't think there's enough here, even for a good actress, to be able to pull off this role of Paula.
Well, that's interesting. We'll talk about who else was kind of up for the role in a second.
Oh, go on.
We'll talk about that. But I mean, I agree. It wouldn't make the film any better, but at least we would have had chemistry between the leads. At least I would have bought into the relationship a bit more, or I don't know, like, think of Kate Hudson in How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. Okay, there's not many performances that are as good as that. But even like if we track back through his kind of rom-com arc at the moment, even like J-Lo in The Wedding Planner, look, terrible movie. But but J-Lo does have presence. She does have charisma.
Yes, she does,
they didn't have great chemistry in that, but they have more than Sarah Jessica Parker and McConaughey did in this. So yeah, there's something about her. So I'm biased anyway. But I just think
she feels like her performance in this feels like she was separate to the rest of the cast. I mean, I don't think the rest of the cast has much chemistry together either, but it certainly feels like she just sort of turned up and did her scenes.
That's interesting. It does, yeah. McConaughey, Justin Bartha, the ugly troll, according to this movie.
I know, as if he's ugly. I mean,
it's ridiculous.
On.
It was annoying me all the way through. I kept saying something like, "This is ridiculous," as if anyone would see this guy in the street and say he wasn't really handsome. It's nuts.
I know. I speak of somebody who has incredible hair. His hair is incredible, still is. I was like, I've got to see some more recent pictures, and I was like, why is his hair so good? I need to know the secret anyway.
Those three seem like they probably got on when they're hanging out on set. They're kind of being bros, and Bradley Cooper and Matthew McConaughey and him. They see that they got on. But you're right. It does feel like she just sort of parachuted in, did her scenes. I don't know when Sex and the City started. Do you like? Was it already on in 2006? I guess that's how she got this role, I assume.
Yeah, I have absolutely no. I'll be honest. I've done no research. I just wrote in my notes about how much I hated it.
So it's just post Sex and the City.
Okay.
So from the mid 90s through to 2004, that's when it stopped. So it's just post that. So yeah, maybe she was too big for her boots and didn't do enough to foster kind of any kind of chemistry or any kind of relationship with anybody on set. Because as you said, none with Zooey either as supposedly best friend housemates. Very, very odd choice. But so other people that were considered for the role. So supposedly when this movie was written, it was written with Zach Braff and Amanda Peet in mind, which sounds like a better movie, probably, actually.
I don't know. I'm not convinced that is. I can't see him pulling off the Trip character, although he might have made him more likable, but also more irritating rather than smarmy.
I guess he would have gone for nerdy rather than sporty.
And I'm a big fan of Amanda Peet, but I can't see her pulling off like quite a central role in like having to. No, it's not working for me.
No. All right. So they were. I don't know if they were ever like in discussions or whatever, but they were who the writer said they had in mind. But so 3 people that did turn the role of Paula down. This list is bonkers. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
So the most one that you could probably buy, Reese Witherspoon. Fine.
Reese wouldn't have touched this.
No, makes sense why they would go to her, but yeah, no thanks. The next 2 are just tells you they had no fucking clue what they were doing with this character or what the vision was here. So yeah, Reese Witherspoon turned it down. It was written for Amanda Peet. Well, okay, they can kind of buy those 2 in the same sort of world. 2 other people supposedly, Tori Spelling. At this point in 2006, what? Brooke Shields.
What?
That's what trivia seems to suggest. Were all people that were offered the role of Paula. I mean,
what?
I don't know what this character was supposed to be.
Yeah, I mean, and again, it's like you said, it shows they had absolutely no clue.
No.
And I do think that's essentially the problem with her character. Like, what is she? Is she funny? Is she, I mean, obviously, women can be all of these things, but we are talking about a mid-2000s rom-com, and a woman in these rom-coms is put into a particular box. So if we're thinking about it in that, is she like funny and charming, or is she serious and smart, or is she like kooky and whatever goes with kooky? What?
No, I hear
you. And instead of actually choosing a box, they've just gone for she's nothing.
Yeah. We needed somebody like, I don't know why it jumped to my head. It did then as we were talking. Like the truth about cats and dogs. We needed like Janine Garofalo. She would be able to do something with this. Somebody like that who could actually add some depth and bring a bit of... That would make sense to me. Like somebody like that with a bit of oomph, a bit of personality. Not somebody that you're trying to hang a character on because they're an actress. You're bringing in somebody who is an actress that can bring something to quite an empty role.
Yeah, absolutely.
But without getting somebody like that, then it's just not going to work, is it? And McConaughey, as much as I love him, doesn't really work in this character either, because I just don't buy him as this guy. Tragic backstory, I know, and we will talk about that as well. But yeah,
it makes no sense that just because his fiance died, that's all I'm giving to the tragic backstory. Just because his fiance died. Yeah, true. It makes no sense that he turns into a man baby. It also makes no sense that not a single one of his friends or family, who apparently love him so much they're going to pay a woman to make him move out, as if that's the solution to all of his problems, have said, do you want to talk? Do you need some therapy? Hey, you thought you were going to adopt a child. You're no longer doing that. I presume this child is now in the care system. This must be quite traumatic for you and said child who you have a bond with. What support do you need? Nobody seems to have done any of that. No. At all.
Now, I want to talk about that because they use this as a way to kind of excuse who he is, don't they? And so, well, not excuse, explain who he is. Excuse is a way to explain. And to be honest, one of my notes earlier on was like, this kid is very black for his nephew. I was a bit confused about what was going on, but they wanted us to be asking that question. But from what I understand, he never moved out of home. So he was so in love with this woman that he was willing to change his life. And as you said, amazingly, like become this surrogate father for this child, potentially adopt him and take on this really important role in these two people's lives. And yet he still hadn't moved out of home. Even that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So again, it's just something they bolted on, hoping that it creates some sort of kind of audience sympathy. I think. I don't think this is it's not an important part of his character. No. It's just a line of dialogue in a movie to explain something.
Yeah, exactly. To explain why he is the way he is. But that doesn't explain why he is the way he is. And tragedy doesn't add depth to a character. Doesn't immediately mean that there's more below the surface when the surface that you're showing is, that you're a douchebag.
Yeah, I mean, his tactic to get rid of girlfriends is to take them back to his parents' house to shag. So and make them feel so uncomfortable doing that they leave him. I mean, great leading man.
What is that? Yeah. And he lies to Paula about, he takes her on that boat. I'm sure it's called a yacht or whatever. For that date, and he lies to her about it, and they're like, this is so funny that you're lying to me. I mean, she would find it funny because she thinks lying to people's fine, you can make money from it. But as the audience, I'm like, wait, he's just openly lying to her. This is just a massive red flag, and she seems to think it's adorable. I'm all right, thanks. I don't think that men just lying to us is great. He's lying to us. But then also, I know they're doing that show that he's so unserious, he'll never have a serious relationship. But I don't think you need to do that by showing that he's a massive liar.
Yeah, there's nothing redeeming about Trip at all, is there really? I don't think.
He's not even, I don't even find him
medallion.
That's it. I don't find him handsome in this. He's not my flavour anyway. Matthew, I understand objectively he is a very attractive person, but he's not for me. But I mean, if there was anything, this film absolutely kills it for me. He's so unattractive in this film.
Oh yeah, I mean the way they've styled him and everything. And I get, again, it's supposed to be part of the character, but yeah, this everything is built for you to. As you said, actually, really interesting. He'd be a villain in another movie. He'd be like a Patrick Bateman style character, and we're meant to be on his side and rooting for him. It's just poor choice after poor choice, really, isn't it?
So bad. Can we? I wanted to talk about it at the time, but I was too excited about other things. Can we talk about Sarah Jessica Parker's acting when the dog dies?
Oh yeah, please do. Yeah. So they go to so part of her scheme, supposedly every time with these men, is to pretend that she's putting her dog to sleep. So she's got this vet in on it, and she calls Trip up, doesn't she? And says, "Come with me. Oh, I'm so sad." This is after two dates or
sale. Yeah, 2 dates in, he's trying to sell a boat. Which is quite important. That's his actual job.
That's also a douchey job, isn't it? As well. Ugh.
Yeah, I mean, that is a douchey job. He's really not for me. And it's like a few dates. He's the person she rings. If I was him, massive red flag. It takes them having. Wait, we'll get to that. So that would have been when I would have broken it off, to be honest. I would have been like, I don't know you. And then you've just made me come whilst your dog gets put down. You haven't even mentioned you had a dog before. So I'm also slightly confused about the fact that you have a dog. Didn't he turn up at her house as well for a date? And the dog wasn't there. I don't know if that's before or afterwards. Anyway, I'd be like, there's many red flags happening here. But then the acting and I know she's like she's acting somebody who's not an actor, but the acting of somebody being upset about their dog dying, I would just immediately be suspicious.
Yeah, it's like an animal trying to rub their scent on something. Yeah. It's gross the way she is pouring all over him in that scene.
And she leans up at him, looks up at his, into this little glance up into his eyes at one point. I just would be like, I don't think this is how you act when your beloved dog
No.
Beloved dog is dying. Like
all of that stuff is really is reductive the right word? I don't know. The way that she believes that she should be acting as a woman in order to ensnare him is really gross. Like when she first meets him in like the sofa warehouse place, she like boob bumps him. She's like saying "excuse me," and she does it with her boobs. And I was like, "Whoa, okay." I mean, times have changed, but surely in 2006, I think I probably would have reacted a bit strangely if somebody had done that to me.
Yeah. They don't respect women in this film.
Oh, really?
But they don't. Like the things that they think that women do to make men like them. I mean, and there's an issue with this in all films anyway. We sort of touched on How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. You know, in How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, women do not spray a man's pillow with their perfume after they've had sex with them once. It doesn't happen. We don't care about you enough. I know that's hard for you guys to hear, but we don't care about you enough to do stuff like that.
46 years while my pillow doesn't smell of
and I feel the same with this film. At least How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days does it with a sense of humor. And, you know, we talked about how Andy sort of like helps combat some of those tropes and Kate Hudson's performance sort of like levels it up a bit like that. You don't have somebody who can do that in this role. Sarah Jessica Parker can't do that. She either needs to clown it up or like do it dead serious. And she can't do either of those things. But yeah, the things like that little glance up. I hate when they're at the seafood restaurant. What is with Matthew McConaughey at seafood restaurants? And the way she leans over to do the kick, like I hated that. And he's so passive in that. He sat in his chair, and I know that's when he then turns around and he's like, "Oh, I've got to break it off," or whatever. But he still kisses her, and he's so passive in that moment. I hate it's the only reason he got bitten by a chipmunk for them to make a joke about how he can't use chopsticks with his left hand. Like, what is that? It's so weird. And then she's like, "Oh, you're so funny and you're so kooky. You're not being able to use chopsticks because a chipmunk bit your hand." And I'm like, "I'm sorry, I don't know anyone who would react like that. Any woman who would react like that." When she goes paintball, how does paintballing work? No woman in the history of the world has ever done paintballing, by the way. You know,
it's terrible. It's so bad. That's it. When you compare it to something like Spaced, which, you know, has the paintball episode. I know, pictured a very different way, but it made me immediately jump to that. Dwayne Benzie, or like Community, right? Community has a couple of paintball episodes as well. Like how they kind of play with the idea and the tropes, and this is just so like, as you said, like, "Oh, a woman on the course, yuck! Oh, she's going to be rubbish."
It was it. They say the first one to get the skirt gets something.
And she's crawling around, as you said, squealing, and of course she ends up. But yeah, it's all bad, isn't it? It's all bad, all of it. Yeah.
I can't even remember my original point. I just got really annoyed.
We were talking about depiction of women, I think. I mean, like how she's kind of acting as a quite unquote woman should act, like kind of the way she's leaning over and kissing guys and looking at them and stuff. Yeah,
just hate it. She's always in white. There's something about the costuming as well, where she's always in white that I haven't had time because I watched it yesterday to get my head around. But she's like, there's something there. There's a message there about the fact that she's always in white. Is it that she's really innocent despite the fact that she's lying to people for money? I don't know. But there's definitely something around that as well. Write in and tell me.
I thought there was a really interesting point around this idea we're talking about, that right towards the end of the film, you get this weird kind of Truman Show-esque sequence where everyone in the cafe is watching Trip and Paula kind of reconnect in their kidnap scenario, as you described in the kind of end of a third act horror movie. Like Captivity or something like that, isn't it? And they're all watching it, which I thought was really weird, and all like laughing and jeering and cheering, and when these guys get together, these total strangers they've never met before. And there's a moment where there's a guy watching it, And I wrote it down. He says, I don't usually like reality TV, but this is so emotional. And he's like getting all teared up. And then his girlfriend turns around to him, slaps him, and is like, oh, be a man, don't cry. And I thought, oh, yeah, that's exactly who's written this movie. That is so telling. That I was like, that one moment now just sums everything up to me when it happened.
That's good. I didn't even notice that bit happened because I was so outraged that they plug it in and openly play people's private lives, stream it for people in a bar to see. And why are they going to a bar? It makes no sense. We know you all live at home with other people, or you have your own homes. Go to there to watch this on your laptop. I mean, I did like the one technical moment where someone's like, can you turn it up? And he's like, it's a laptop. It doesn't work like that. Because I feel like I've had to say that to too many people in my life before. Yeah. I mean, so that's possibly my favourite moment in the film. But yeah, overall, I'm like, what an invasion of their privacy. Why do you think any of this is okay?
I mean, the ethics of this movie out the window,
kidnapped him. Yeah, he's tied to a chair with tape over his mouth.
When you start like thinking of all the things in order, like ethically, it's terrible. Now, obviously, the whole concept, the ethics are off. Like hiring this woman to gaslight him and to catfish him is obviously awful. The whole manipulation with the dead dog thing is obviously ethically awful. Shooting a bird because it's made too much noise outside your window is obviously not ethically okay. This ending, as you said, with the invasion of privacy, not to mention the fact that they'd been kidnapped and tied up and put in a cupboard as if they were awaiting their kind of death sentence. And then, of course, I think you were going to mention this before, the fact that Paula, in her manipulation, actively chooses to sleep with him.
Yeah.
I mean, at what point does what she's doing then become prostitution or become rape or like, they're big words to use. I understand. I'm not using them lightly.
Consent.
No, absolutely. Yeah.
At all. Like, you know, sex work is sex work. Everybody has different opinions on them. As far as we're told at the beginning of this, she does not do sex work. Mm-hmm. And then she is being paid. Oh, but don't forget, Jack, she does want to give the money back at the end.
Sure.
So, you know, it's fine.
Sex is obviously good, I guess.
But he absolutely can't. I mean, he can't consent to any of this. All of this is absolutely non-consensual for him. But he cannot consent to them having sex. And then she just sneaks out the next day. And I'm just like, this is so hugely problematic. So problematic. And then just tells Kit about it in front of some other guy who seems to find two women talking about what sounds like quite vanilla sex, to be honest, like the most erotic thing he's ever heard, that he throws shotgun shells all over the place. Like, first of all, ridiculous. That I'm sure that man has seen more erotic things. It's 2006 rather than overhearing these two women doing it. Second of all, guns in America, guys, you have issues. The fact that she's just there and is like, yeah, I'm going to buy this. And it's only because he doesn't want her to shoot a mockingbird that he's like, no, you can't have it. Mad.
Yes. Dewey's subplot of wanting to kill a mockingbird and then ultimately herself being manipulated into getting into a relationship with Justin Bartha's character, Philip, or also known as Ace. Yuck. Yeah, that's just all kinds of terrible as well, isn't it?
Paula prostitutes her out.
Yeah, she does. Yeah.
Paula going, actually, I've been found out. I should do something about it. Prostitutes her out. Ace seems to think it's okay to barter for a woman. So he's like, I'll keep your secret if you make your housemate.
Yeah, that is. We don't see that, do we? But we assume that's what he says. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Like, what's wrong with these people? And at least Kit is like, look, if I'm gonna just have sex, I want to do it with the handsome loser.
Oh, we have to Bradley Cooper.
And I'm like, hands up, agree. Again, not that Justin Buff isn't like, he's clearly an attractive man, but she's like, I don't want the successful man.
Yeah.
She's like, I just want to have fun and off the pop. Like, I've got a lot of respect for that. She doesn't even get to choose that because everybody else is manipulating her. I mean,
more
not
we're
that she
talking
deserves much of a pass because she does want to shoot a bird, but
yeah. Yeah. But I mean, that's kind of a really small sin compared to everybody else in this movie, isn't it? I was just going to say, the more we're
I actually
talking
think you'll find it's against the law.
I'm thinking of that Scary Mary trailer. Have you seen that, where somebody's re-edited Mary Poppins to look like a horror movie?
No.
Search it up after this. It's obviously just like a 3-minute whatever, but it's really clever how they've done it. Like, they've not augmented the footage in any way. It's just original footage from the movie that then added their own sound effects and music on to make into like a Mary Poppins into a scary horror movie. As you said, it really wouldn't take much to do that with this, would it? I think I'm going to set it as an assignment for my class next year in one of their media projects. I'm going to give them I'm going to make them watch Failure to Launch. And I'm going to tell them to make the trailer into a horror movie, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I get it. It totally is. It's not going to take much effort to do that."
So much, like, I just, everybody is morally grey and not in a great way. Like,
yeah.
For Romantasy Coven, I'm obviously reading a lot of romantasy books, and there's a lot of morally grey characters in there, and you're fully on board with it. Not in this. They're not hitting the good morally grey characters. Because even Bradley Cooper, can't remember his name, he only tells Trip because he's told Paula about Trip's ex-fiance, and then he pretends that he's done it out of the goodness of his heart. And I'm like, but you've already betrayed Trip by one, knowing and not telling him straight away, but then telling his whole life story to Paula first. Where are your loyalties?
Yeah. Demo, his name is. We don't actually get a backstory for that. I really feel like maybe we need a prequel now, which tells us because they tell us, I can't remember, they tell us how Ace gets his name, because they say, is he really good at poker? And they're like, no, it's because of this and this and this. We don't know.
Oh yeah, he tells Kit, doesn't he, why that was his name? Yeah, I can't remember what it is. So
that's meant to be like a fun little subplot, isn't it, of them getting together? But again, like, and they start shagging immediately after shooting, and then more weird animal stuff, resuscitating the mockingbird back to life. She's giving it chest compressions and he's giving it CPR. It is something else.
But bird flu had happened by then. You'd not do CPR. And you would go to the doctor and get tested.
So weird.
So weird. The only other joke that I like is at the very beginning when all of the parents are together at the barbecue. And there's some parents who talk about their son who's an airline pilot. He's very lucky because he gets to stay at his like friends' houses, flight attendant houses. Look, there's some stereotypes there I don't enjoy, but it is also very much they used to be roommates.
Yeah, absolutely. You
know, when historians are looking at stuff and they're like, oh, these two fellas were great friends, best friends. That they even had their two special bowls buried next to each other. They must have been fantastic roommates in your life, dudes. Come on.
Yeah. Again, that's like you get Stephen Tobolowsky just for one scene. Great, he's great, he's great and everything. But like, why? What did they? Somebody had something over these people to get them in this movie. I'm not sure what. Because I was thinking like McConaughey, like what drew him in to do this? I mean, cash probably mostly, but I wonder how much of like the Trip character, because if it was Zach Braff originally, I don't imagine Trip was doing kind of rock climbing and BMXing. So I wonder if it was like McConaughey was like, oh, cool, I get to go and do all these outdoorsy stuff with a couple of bro dudes on set. All right then. Or whether like that was kind of added to the movie afterwards, because he's this kind of outdoorsy guy, isn't he? I couldn't quite work it out, but I wonder if that's what maybe like, you want to offer me a bunch of money and I get to just play around with some mates. All right, yeah, I'll do that.
Everyone's in this for the money. They're not here. They're not thinking it's going to be a cinematic masterpiece.
Not a masterpiece, but I mean, you know, it made, 50 it cost and it made 132 million. So
no, it didn't.
It did. So it is a success in terms of the box office. I guess 2 years out of How to Lose a Guy and Sex and the City finishing. I can see why people are going to see it.
I mean, that's actually quite a savvy choice from the two of them in terms of a work choice and next projects. I'll give them that. That's a very savvy choice. You know, generic rom-com, especially in the 2000s, like it's going to do all right, isn't it? Even if it's pretty bad.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, this sort of era it's just going to make money. People are going to go and watch it. Yeah, for sure. McConaughey had recently been voted people's sexiest man alive as well. So whether that attributed to some of the box office, but people will weigh into him. He's great. I watched a few interviews with him for this, and everybody brings it up. Everybody brings it up. And he just sort of laughed. And he's like, yeah, that's what I did when I got told. I thought, okay, that's kind of funny. I guess I'll take it. Like, who's going to say no? But I quite liked his, like, he was like, my mum's really proud.
Yeah.
The way he dealt with it. It's quite nice.
She's got not like, yeah, cover up.
Yeah, he's not like, of course, Dad, look at me. He's just sort of laughed. He's like, okay. I sort of went, all right, if you want to say that about me. And my mum likes it.
Brilliant.
I thought that's quite sweet, actually.
That's really good. That's funny. If he could have brought some of that humour to this, that would have been very good.
Yeah, I mean, the humour level that he was invited to do was to be, as we said, bitten by a chipmunk, dragged underwater by a dolphin.
Put too much toothpaste on your toothbrush.
Yeah,
that bit irritates me.
Very, very poor.
He's not 6. He's like 35. He's been brushing his teeth for a long time.
Yeah. Terry Bradshaw, I've not heard of him. He's the guy that plays his dad. He's a big sports guy. I thought he was pretty good, actually. He was he was famous for American football rather than being an actor. There's one big scene for him where when Trip has moved out, we have a very weird dinner scene where Trip pretends to be going along with it and is inviting Paula to move in with them in the house. And then like 3 seconds later goes, haha, actually, I know what you're up to. He then does move out. And when he comes back, what seems like a day later, his dad has co-opted his bedroom as his naked room, which is fucking weird.
Weird.
I can tell you right now, when my boys move out, I will not be using either of their rooms as my naked room.
But like you said, I was like, how long's he been gone for?
Yeah. Not long.
Because they like immediately seemed to change his room and now it's a naked room. I was like, how much time has passed of what's happening?
But they did that whole kind of Austin Powers thing, didn't they? Where they're hiding his nudity, and all I could think of when I was watching was like, oh, good, I'm talking to Ria about this. I was like, release the dong, come on, you cowards. Let's see that old man's dong, get it on screen.
Well, he was the only nudity, which was very lovely, very refreshing to be the only nudity. Obviously, we knew there was going to be no penis in sight. No. How sad.
Just some buns.
But what I did like is that, but I don't know if like is the right word, but they were very comfortable with each other. Trip was very comfortable.
With his dad. Yeah.
With his naked dad. And I think that's a rare message for men that we see. So
I like your finding this in the movie. That's nice.
Yeah. I'm going to do a little reach round. Wish I hadn't said that.
Yeah. And I'm going to assume Trip and his dad definitely weren't doing that.
Yeah.
That's a very
as soon as that came out, that was my brain going way faster. My mouth going way faster than my brain. That's all I could think about. Oh God, save me. Save me on nudity. Fantastic.
What I did notice in this actually is that we're getting a new kind of McConaughey-ism. Obviously, we've got the top off. We get that 3 minutes 30 in. They go early doors in this movie.
Yeah.
3 minutes in, it's off. We obviously get an hour, right? And that's about an hour in. I've started to clock these because I think it's quite interesting. But then I was like, oh, fucking hell. Only an hour. I felt like I've been watching it for days. But a new one, since How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, I've noticed it's creeping in. We're getting a lot of bullshit. He said it, I think, in every movie since How to Lose a Guy. So again, I wonder if this is something he's bringing in. It's like, oh, I liked it when I did that in How to Lose a Guy. It's become a bit of a trademark.
Nice. I prefer that to the weird noise he makes when Paul is kissing him.
Oh, I thought you were going to... How does that compare to the turkey basting noise in How to Lose a Guy?
Oh... oh no, I don't want to talk about that.
And there was a really nice moment with Kathy Bates' mum, isn't it, at the end when she's talking about like the reason she held on for so long. And there needs to be some blame put on these parents, by the way, and there isn't really. But the reason she's held on so long is like she's worried about what life's going to be like when he's gone and whether her and his dad, whether her husband is still going to get on, which is a really nice moment. And it's probably a really interesting subplot or a full plot, to be honest, for a movie. But again, does not exist in this world. It's not in keeping with the rest of this movie at all. It's not earned, is it?
No. It's so weird. It's so weird. The only sort of like indication you see it early on is there's a scene when Paula's talking to them and she says something around how, I think it's when she says you've got to make him do more work for himself. Kathy Bates does something with her face, which I immediately clocked and was like her going, oh, this is really difficult for me. I'm not sure this is actually what I want. And I was like, amazing, like absolutely amazing. And then when they do that later on, you think this could have been the main plot of the story. What if Paula was an actual therapist instead of just some sociopath from the street who was like, hey, there's some complex family dynamics here, and then works through that, and then they just happen to fall in love as they work through the ethical issues, obviously. But let's not talk about ethics in this film. And it's but just like none of that's explored. Like these weird set pieces where the characters have no chemistry. So strange.
That sort of nicely brings us full circle, because we'll start wrapping up soon. But we started off, and you said you wanted to talk about it a bit, about this idea of like kind of the man-child living at home with the parents, as I've come to learn from doing my research, also known as a twixter or a parasite single, which I think are really cool titles. Particularly Parasite Single. I particularly like that one. I'm going to be using that as the boys grow up. Don't be a parasite single. Sort your life out.
Get out.
Get out my house, you parasite single. What you want to touch upon that a bit more in terms of a concept or how it's depicted in this, or what were your thoughts on it?
So like now, in the year that we are, 2025, I had to think about that for a second. Like multi-generational living, right, is something that lots of us have to do because of the world is a joke. And also, we're trying to gain back community and support different generations. Lots of us have care and responsibilities and stuff like that. So these days, the song No Scrubs by TLC is not a diss. It's just necessity, all right? None of us can afford to move out. So with that in context, I'm not dissing. I don't know why I'm saying the word dissing. I'm 42 years old. I'm not. I want to look at it separately to that. So multi-generational living is fantastic. In this film, in 2006, all three guys still live at home with their parents, and we presume that they're all the same sort of age, so around 35.
They've known each other from school, I think. So they've all been best mates from school.
So the reasons is Ace bought the house from his parents so that he doesn't have to pay inheritance tax when she dies. Bradley Cooper doesn't want to have a job, just wants to be a bum.
He's like roaming the earth or something,
he wants to be a nature person. And Trip is because his fiancée died 5 years ago, but he was still living there anyway. And the film is trying to say that like these guys are losers because they're living at home, which kind of get with and like fits with the time. But there's nothing there that sort of, in terms of exploring in the film or why it's important that they move out, to talk about like, I'm sorry, I can't find the words, to sort of
like dependency or
just the sort of, why don't the three of them move in together? Why aren't the three of them living together? Why did they not go to college, because it's America? Did they not go to college? Did they not ever have a partner they wanted to move in with? Did they never have a bro friend, just roommates that they wanted to move in with it? What's it trying to say about
what's the psychology behind
men that they just stay at home? And none of that is explored. All we get is Paula saying, well, they're mostly losers who live at home, which is really rude, first of all. Because they like, it's just geeks. Because all geeks just live at home in their parents' basement.
Because gets Patton Oswalt, who loves Star Wars, later in the movie, don't we?
Yeah. Also, How I Met My Husband, so hot. And I I just find it weird that the concept they've gone for is handsome, successful white man can't move out of his parents' home.
Yeah.
And they get for all three of the main characters. Clearly, I've not done any deep thought or analytical thinking about it at all. But I just don't understand how they came up with this is the problem that needs to be solved in the film. And if they thought, well, this is the problem, we need them to move out, surely the stuff about his ex-fiancée dying, or she is ex, but you know what I mean, that would be what's at the beginning of the film to make the payoff of getting with Paula feel more satisfactory. I just don't get where the concept comes from.
No.
I think it's just a wacky idea, and they were like, let's just build everything else around it.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think most of these, something like The Wedding Crashers is like two guys who crash weddings to hook up with girls. But that is not morally good, don't get me wrong, but it makes sense. Like, you can imagine that actually being a real thing. I imagine people do that kind of shit. This just doesn't make sense. It just feels like a concept they've come up with that they think is funny, but doesn't feel like it exists in real life. Or if it does, it's a drama. It's a Ken Loach drama, really. About
exactly.
Why we're in this situation where people have to stay at home and not move out, or as you said, because they're a caregiver, or it's Joker. Actually, it's a movie like that rather than this wacky comedy.
And like the concept of failure to launch exists. So my theory is they just saw that and thought that it was funny, without actually like reading any of the books about it. And then also it's sort of been debunked a little bit. But it's like literally they just heard this concept. There was probably a new book out about it or something like that. And they went, hilarious, let's do it. Didn't even bother to read the book.
Right,
That's our title, done.
Will Ferrell's a really big deal right now, right? And he is famous for playing these kind of like man-child roles. And then Danny McBride came along in his own realm, fairly similar. So this sense of like Arrested Development, not growing up, and it's kind of in right now, isn't it? So you're probably right.
But we even see it with like How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. Like, the problem that's trying to be solved is Andy wants to be a serious journalist. She needs to write a fluff piece to be able to do this. He wants to broaden. I mean, none of these are great reasons. I mean, actually they kind of are, because like you need money to live and whatever, a job's a job.
Yeah.
Like, he wants to get a new client so he can earn more money, and everybody will think he's great. Like, they are at least like clear guidelines of
like motivating factors.
We don't have that in this film, and I also think that's where it really stumbles. It's like literally just a concept, put it in, and then we'll just be silly around it. But nobody's silly; they're all just rubbish. Yeah.
It's right down there in terms of the movies I've watched of his. This is
so bad.
Yeah, I mean, Tiptoes is worse, but I mean that also denigrates Little People. So you can understand why that's worse. Like, Tiptoes should be so bad it's good, but it's just so bad. This is just I don't think I quite, even after hearing you say about how bad it was, I don't think I could quite prepare myself, because I've not seen a film for a long time that just gets everything wrong. Like, everything. Like, I can't. You said maybe you laughed a couple of times, and maybe I did at some point, but I can't really picture what they would have been.
Yeah,
I can certainly.
I can tell you the two exact things that I laughed at, which is the gay couple, and it's like that's it.
Whereas like How to Lose a Guy, and I admitted it in the show when we were recording it, at times I was laughing. I sort of caught myself thinking I shouldn't laugh at that, but I have, and in the context of the movie, it's made me laugh because it's been timed well and it's funny and it's. This is not good. They name check it. He's a failure to launch kind of guy, or whatever it is that she says. This film, is a total failure, isn't it? In every regard, title and all the way through it.
Yeah.
He does mention it in Green Lights. If you'll indulge me to read a little bit.
Definitely.
So he says, I made more films, and he lists a few. How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, Tiptoes, Sahara, Two for the Money, Failure to Launch, and We Are Marshall. The romantic comedies remained my only consistent box office hits, which made them my only consistent incoming offers. I enjoyed being able to give people a 90-minute breezy romantic getaway from the stress of their lives, where they didn't have to think about anything. Just watch the boy chase the girl, fall down, then get up and finally get her. I'd taken the baton from Hugh Grant, and I ran with it. I'm going to pause there because he comes back to his rom-com arc, and he doesn't feel that way forever. Let me say that. So, the next rom-com I cover on this, which I believe will be Ghosts of Girlfriends Past, I will read the next bit where he discusses how he now feels about starring in rom-coms.
I mean, look, do what you got to do. You got to make them money somehow, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I watched some of these interviews, and somebody did ask him about what draws him to it and like why he likes them, and you could just really tell. I mean, maybe it's because I've got that knowledge, and sometimes you bring something to what you're watching, don't you? But I think even without it, I think you can watch him. He just sort of looks around, stumbles over a couple of words for a few seconds. He doesn't know what to say. Like clearly, he doesn't like these, and he's just earning money, and he just sort of says like, "Oh yeah, I like the lightness of it." But do you mean there's no answer there? It's just him trying to get to the next question. So
yeah, and we know now. In rom-coms, I love a rom-com.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I love a rom-com. But I also think if it's not your passion and you've got to make some money, and that's going to be your box office hit, go for it. Why not?
Yeah, and that's what he was doing right now, wasn't it? I think we know in retrospect he wasn't enjoying this period of his career, and when he did try and branch out, things weren't going right. Those films weren't being successful, so he had to keep coming back to the well of rom-coms to make enough money to keep trying these other things out.
And you get to be on sunny locations with beautiful people. I mean,
yeah. And when we get to Fool's Gold, I mean, something like that, we're like, yeah, I get it. Yeah,
I don't like the heat, so no. That's my worst nightmare.
And to be with Kate Hudson again, and to just fuck around making this silly, frothy movie. Yeah, right. I will do that for £5 million. Yeah, $5 million. Yeah, sure, go on. All right, a couple of letterboxd. Alex says that close-up shot at the end of Matthew McConaughey's disgusting bare feet inching the chair along with his toes has haunted me since I was a child. This director should be in jail, and that footage should be banned. I don't ever want to see a man's unpedicured feet. All right. It's a very particular take, but I hate feet too, so I particularly like that one.
I hate feet as well, but I could have been so angry at feet.
I can't even recall that shot. I don't know what he's talking about, but I thought that was brilliant.
I do. I recall. They all react in the bar because he's like inching along with his feet because he's gone.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And they're all like, "Oh my god, he's moving in the bar." So I know exactly what he's talking about, but I don't think I've ever been so angry at feet.
Okay, Wesley says, a romantic comedy so dumb that it seems like a spoof of the genre. There's something kind of fascinating lurking underneath the surface here that might be attempting to deconstruct or comment on our fascination with rom-coms. One of the main characters makes her living by constructing fake relationships that literally move people. And there's a scene near the end where a bunch of strangers crowd around a massive screen to watch a romantic conflict between two people they've never met. There's something there. I don't know what it is. On the other hand, there are 5 scenes in which characters are attacked by wild animals straight out of Anchorman or something like that. It's preposterous. The romance itself doesn't really click, and most of the jokes don't land. Zooey Deschanel and Justin Bartha are pretty charming in secondary roles.
Yeah, I think that's a nicer review than probably what you and I have said.
Yeah, and I like the idea that there's something underneath the surface, but they didn't mean
it. There is. No.
And I think you probably
could imagining it if there is.
Yeah, you could make that movie, but it's not this. And then just to throw out something positive, Jade Talks Too Much says, a horror movie, if you consider it, from McConaughey's perspective. He gets lied to and manipulated by his family, friends, and girlfriend, suffers 3 separate animal attacks, and spends the 3rd act bound and gagged in a cupboard by said friends. All because his parents won't just throw him out. The premise of this movie is ludicrous and eye-rolling. Sarah Jessica Parker is a borderline sociopath, and Matthew McConaughey is an annoying man-child. But it's kind of cute. And I was thoroughly entertained. Zooey Deschanel steals every scene, and I think the leads have decent chemistry. Boo. Perhaps I yearn for the days where big blockbusters could be less about plot and more about hot people flirting. People are way too harsh. It's a fun, breezy rom-com. Or a horror movie. Why not both? Interesting. She obviously likes it, but thought of it in the same way as you still.
Yeah. Also, when are they flirting? When are they flirting?
Yeah.
I don't see any flirting. I see none.
Yeah. It's...
Absolutely none. Like you said at the beginning, when she touches him with her boobs. Is that it? Is that what you consider flirting? Oh, dear. What a film.
So, yes. I mean, thank you for subjecting yourself to it twice in 6 months.
Yeah. I don't know what's wrong with me.
If you now need therapy, I will pay for that for you. I think that's only fair.
Please,
at times
please don't get Sarah Jessica Parker.
I've bought people the DVD at times because I felt like I shouldn't ask them to spend the money on the movie. So I was like, listen, if you can't find it anywhere, let me know and I'll buy you a copy and send it to you. This feels like one that I probably owe you for as well.
Yeah, I'm going to make you watch something shit.
Yeah, fair. Surprise everyone. Classic worth catching or completist only in the reconnaissance?
Completist only, clearly.
Yeah.
Don't do it to yourself. Oh, okay, I'm fine.
Yeah, even in a bad movie, sometimes he might do something, or you might see growth, or you might see him attempting something new, or you can put a pin in that saying, like, this is a time when he's done a character never done before, but there's nothing for him here, is there either?
They all, with the greatest respect, they all clearly just needed some money.
Yeah. Yes, and we have suffered the consequences.
Yeah, good luck to us. Say good luck to us. We've already watched it.
Exactly,
it's made me go weird.
Good luck dealing with our trauma of watching failures.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Dear.
You mentioned your romanticy stuff. What's going on? What have you got coming up? This is not coming out for a few weeks. I'm a little bit ahead, but yeah, what have you got coming out that is more enjoyable?
Well, anything Femme On is more enjoyable. So go check us out at femmeon.show or search for Femme On wherever you listen to podcasts. Got some great episodes. Slowing down a bit for the summer and in general. So we're having an episode come out like once a month. So go and enjoy those. Listen to our back catalogue. It's fantastic. There's a lot there for you. Romanticy Coven is me and my amazing two co-hosts, 3 including me. Wow. The 3 witches. We talk about romanticy books, popular romanticy books, maybe some not so popular romanticy books, apart from its only popular ones at the moment. We've covered ACOTAR, Fourth Wing, the Empyrean series. We have just done oh my God, I've forgotten what we've done. We've just Serpent and the Wings of the Night, so the Crowns of Nyaxia series, and we are about to do Quicksilver, which is going to be epic, which will come out in, what month are we in? We are in July, so that will come out in August. So yeah, come and have a listen and join in, read along. We don't do breakdowns. We're not interested in like breaking down every scene and every theory. It's more just about what we felt, the things we've enjoyed, the things we've not enjoyed about reading these books.
Cool. So there's 3 of you, right? And you referred yourself, as the 3 witches. And we've also referenced Hocus Pocus this episode.
Oh,
so my final question to you is, which one of you is Sarah Jessica Parker?
Oh, Jess, definitely.
So, Ria said that, Jess. Nobody else. Ria said that after all those insults about Sarah Jessica Parker, she has just ousted you.
Well, no, but what it means that B is like the leader. So she's Winifred, the one in charge, the one who's smart. Jess is I've done myself in. Jess is is the attractive one, and I'm the dumb one in the corner. So actually, wait, no, me.
Yeah.
Jessica Parker. Damn it, should have thought that through.
All right. Another episode where my guest and I launch into the criticisms pretty heavily again. But listen, when the entry is this much of a failure, we're left with little choice. So my heartfelt thanks go to Ria for enjoying this movie twice in such short succession, and of course to you 2 listeners for your continued engagement and participation as we journey through the highs and lows of the reconnaissance. That was Failure to Launch. Next up in a fortnight, I'm going to be joined by Glyn for his first appearance this season to discuss Eminem's performance as Jack Langell in McGee's biographical sports picture, We Are Marshall, for those that are watching along. Until next time, be excellent to each other and make sure you take the time to treat yourself too. I am Jack signing off. Yippee-ki-yay, movie lovers.
You just gotta keep living, man. Livin.
Cut.
Eruption hater.